Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Flat Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm FPF Hall of Famer Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie for Maule.
All right, so let's hop into it. Quick one here today, trying to bang it out in 90 minutes. Division F, what do you want to talk about?
So one thing I was actually looking at in Division F, so if you check the stats for all the quarterbacks right now, a lot of them have like a high ratio for interceptions and touchdowns, except for one quarterback. So I want to make sure. So Devin Sandler from the Dolphins. So he's thrown 16 TDs and 3 INTs. Other than that, everyone else is pretty much, well, you have Jesse Kokalak from PSTM. He's also 23-8, but everyone's they have high interception rates other than him. So I found that pretty interesting. And I feel like right now, I think the Dolphins are 4-1 going into the Dolphins are 4.
Yeah, they're 4-1. They're 4-1.
Yeah, they're 4-1. So I mean, that I see that, and it gives them I would be pretty confident for them that the quarterback's only throw 3 INTs, because when it comes down to playoffs, he's not throwing that many, right? So a lot of times, it's like first quarterback to throw an interception. That's pretty much going to be the team that's going to lose.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen Jesse from PSTM. Jesse, I think it's Kolarzik. Yeah, I think it's Kolarzik. Anyways, it's all good noise. I've seen him play. He's a pretty efficient quarterback. He spreads the ball around to his team. I like what I've seen so far out of those guys. I know I talked about Jordan Lee, one of the big playmakers on their team. But yeah, speaking of both the quarterbacks, so yeah, you're right. Like low INTs, especially in this division. Like we see a lot of guys like Feng Jiang, Matthew Chadwick, Stephen Polizzi, Alex DeLuca, a lot of those guys with high interceptions, right? All those quarterbacks have at least 10 INTs, but that's normal, right? For the lowest divisions, because a lot of these guys are either playing QB for the first time, or some of them are on teams where they have not that much chemistry with their receivers, right? So it's a learning process. So like you talked about, for Kolarzik, low INTs is pretty solid. Same thing for Devin Sandler. Yeah,
so that's what, literally something that I was kind of looking at, and I found interesting as well, just
100%. 100%. So I just want to say, sorry to interrupt you. So the Jamaican bobsled team, they were playing at Loyola. I think it was Sunday morning. Yeah, it was Sunday morning. They were taking on the Gamblers. So unfortunately for the Jamaican bobsled team, they lost to the Gamblers 19-13. So shout out to the Gamblers for getting the W last Sunday. So I asked them, I noticed their jerseys, because I know we were talking about it earlier in the season, right? Looking at some of the cool team names. Mm. So in the team picture, it's just a regular black and green top, right? So what they've added now to it, they'll have a Jamaican flag over, I believe, the left side, which is super awesome. And I asked them, are any of you guys actually Jamaican? Like, nah, not at all. So it's a bunch of white guys, I think, for the most part, but it is what it is.
You sure?
I asked them. I mean, there was one guy I wasn't sure, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. I mean, I'm not trying to be racially insensitive here. I'm looking at it. I mean, most of the guys look like they were white to me, or anyways, no one stood out as being looking like you or I. But I mean, it is what it is. That's not a problem. I asked them though, where they get the name from, because a lot of those guys are young, right? The movie came out, I think we were talking about 91, 92, 93, something like that. So one of the guys said the movie. So I guess, I don't know, he watched it, I don't know when, but at some point or another, he must have watched the movie. But the first answer that came out of one of the players' mouths was fear. So, like, all right. They want to instill fear by calling themselves the Jamaican bobsled team.
It is interesting though, because when you do hear the name, you're just like, oh, okay. Like, well, what are we gonna see here? But the fact that you only see a bunch of white guys is also kind of funny. But
yeah,
100%. I feel like people just make names like that, Like I think I've mentioned this last time, where some of the kids I was coaching, we played versus the other team. And when the other team scored a touchdown, and all these guys the whole team was white, and when they scored a touchdown, they said "Bumbaclot."
Yeah, right. You're saying, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, just something that just happens these days.
Not a fan of that. I mean, I'm not Jamaican. I'm Bayesian. Shout out to Barbados. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. You shouldn't be saying Bumbaclot if you have no idea what it means.
Exactly. But like kids these days, like a lot of things come out their mouth.
Facts.
All right. Let's go Division E.
Cool. Shout out to the Jamaican bobsled team. Awesome. They were great, and they watched the podcast too, so I'm happy about that. Good stuff. Good group of guys. Yeah. So Division E.
Division E, right? So right now, I think we talked about this last week. I don't think anything really changed. We still have 3 teams undefeated. You have Gold Rush, Sophomore XL, and Shaw Midi Chose. Yep. So you have the 3 teams that are they were kind of in control last season as well. They were 3 powerhouse teams going into it, and they did all have a deep run. So that's pretty impressive that they're able to still kind of keep doing what they're doing. As well as Toon Squad, I talked about them a bit as well. I said this team it's a pretty stacked team. They're a team that's they've been starting when they were in junior. Some of their guys, so
right.
It's a kind of impressive. I'm impressed, but I'm also not impressed that all these 4 teams are doing so well in this division.
Well, listen, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are some teams who are stepping up, like those 3 teams. There's another team that I wanted to ask you about. So we didn't talk about them last week because they weren't one of the undefeated teams. But Richter, I've been impressed, man. They're like 4-1. The only loss they had this season was 8-6, which is really odd. It seems like a hockey or a baseball game more than anything. They lost a bend don't break in week 2, but since then, so even including that. They've let up 6 points, 8 points, 0. So that was a forfeit. 24 and 0. So they've pitched some shutouts. They pitched some near shutouts as well, right? I mean, they're legit, and they have a big game coming up this tomorrow, Friday, against Sweet Bonanza. So we'll see what happens there. But that defense is looking pretty nice for Richter. Kind
of weird to see the score that's 8-6. Whatever you tell your friend, I just had a flag game. What was the score? 8-6. It's like, I guess. I'm just curious to go back in the stats for that team. I guess there was a safety.
The safety. Yep, exactly.
First half safety for bend don't break. I also like the saying bend don't break as well.
Yes.
So that's one of my sayings. I always tell my teams: bend but don't break.
100%.
Yeah, so 2 and then 6-6, which is a very low scoring game. Plus, both quarterbacks didn't really throw a lot of picks. You know, you would sometimes assume a lot of teams quarterbacks throw picks. They both one had 2, one had 1, and there was no pick sixes. So real defensive game. A lot of turnovers in this game.
Definitely. So I think the reason why Richter only scored 6 points in that game, I'm looking at it right now. So they had Sam Eisenberg throwing for them. He's actually not their regular quarterback. The regular quarterback, speaking of impressive TDs and interception numbers right now, the regular quarterback is Jeremy Steinberg, actually.
Okay.
12 TDs, 0 INTs this season. He's actually he's balling up for this team.
Okay, nice. Jeremy's also a rusher, right?
Yeah. I've seen his name. I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't met him personally, but I've seen him around, and I definitely know his name. I'm looking at his stats right here. Yeah. So he's on the Snowden Deli Vegans.
He used to play for Toon Squad. I know that, and Mean Machine from what I remember.
Yeah, Mean Machine, Team Sexy in the winter. He played with them as well. Played with a couple of teams actually.
Oh, super cool guy. I went to a tournament with him in it was in St. Petersburg, I want to say, in Toronto. We had kind of KGP guys that we had a tournament out there, and he came to help us out, and he did some rushing for us.
Isn't St. Petersburg in Florida?
St. Petersburg. No, it's in Toronto. There's Toronto has so many. Yeah. There it is. Yes, unless I'm not pronouncing right, but I'm pretty sure I am. It's in Toronto somewhere.
Yeah, all of Ontario has all these little small cities and towns. And it is what it is. I hear you. Okay.
Okay. I have nothing much else to say in Division E, so we go to Division D.
So what are you doing now? I'm trying to find St. Petersburg, Toronto. Like it's bugging me now for some reason. As Russia, obviously, I know that one. Florida. Well, it is whatever. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, now you're gonna make me
curious. It's summertime. I'm getting my travel on soon, so I'm just curious. All right, fair enough. Okay, yeah. So like you said, Division D right now.
Yeah. Right. So Division D. So we have Rum and Coke, still 6-0. Snow Deli, Delin Degens, also 6-0. So the two teams are undefeated right now. You have Practice Squad 3, that's 6-1. So they just have one loss in their season.
Yep.
You have Uncle Ricky Riders. We talked about them a bit as well.
Rick and
That's
Marty
a solid
as well.
team. I'm just trying to see.
Is Rick and Marty? I know they're 5-1. They're pretty solid.
Squad.
There's a lot of teams with like 4 wins. There's like the Studs. I've seen them play a couple times. The Ballhawks, Trinity, 4-3, Glow Gang. A lot of those teams just above 500. I had a chance to watch Trinity. Pardon me, actually, the other day at Loyola. They laid a beat down actually on the Mighty Ducks, 38-12. So Trinity's been in and around FPF for a long time. They have a new quarterback, I believe Raphael Bernier, who's throwing for them now. So I remember when they first got into the league, a buddy of mine, Jean-François Marquis, him and his brother Vincent were like the two captains of the team. They had Marc-Antoine Viens, who I think you know. They've added some guys, lost some guys over the years, guys like Alex Samson, Alex Jubenville. But I had a chance to watch a bit of their game the other day, again, led now by Raphael Bernier, 6 TD passes in their win over the Mighty Ducks. And Vincent Marquis still there. Surprisingly, he had like 1 target. And you could ask AJ Bill Vincent. So my team, the commission, we had a team. We won the spring championship, I want to say 2017 or 18. And our quarterback, Sean Avram, didn't want to come back because Sean Avram was doing this like championship tour where he wanted to go from team to team with people that he knew that were friends. Like, I've grown up with Sean. He's like, if you don't have a ring, I'll get you a ring. But after that, I'll try and go to another team and try to help them win a ring.
Jeez, okay.
It's kind of stupid. He passed up some other championships, but that's on him. Anyways, so we had AJ as one of our receivers, and then we have Vincent on the other side. Now, Vincent's like the quietest dude in the world, but like one of the most underrated guys in FPF. A big body who like has a lot of speed, and I've never seen him drop a pass. And he has phenomenal hands. And obviously, we brought his brother Jean-François to end up throwing for us. We actually played Jagerbomb, a team that I've talked about a lot in Division C. We had this rivalry with them, and we lost to them in the semifinals. I will say it was a BS call against our rusher, my current rusher, Zachary Elbisgill. They had called offside, even though the rusher Zachary didn't move at all before the snap. Jagerbomb won the game. They proceeded to get smoked by the Alpha T's. That's Jesse Dupree's team. Asian history. But I will say, the whole point of me saying this, Vincent Marquis, great player. I think he's in his 40s by now or late 30s. He's still putting up decent numbers, and had a chance to watch him.
I've played against him when they had Trinity, when Brotherhood was, back in Division D. I think I played Trinity maybe once or twice. Yeah, and he doesn't look like he's much, but he can make plays out there. Yeah, going down to it, right? So there's 26 teams in this division. It's probably one of the biggest division. There's 6 teams that are not making playoffs, right? All these teams the teams that are not making playoffs all have 1 win. Well, all the teams that are looking out of playoffs have 1 win, and there's 2 teams that have 0 and 6. Compared to that, the teams that are in the playoffs, or not, they're in the green. You have 1 win for Team Ethic, but they also have a tie, so that's pretty huge. And then you have pretty much the boys are back that have 2 wins, Bullseye 2 wins, Veer Lynx 2, Nighthawks 2, and then Brother Men are at 3. So you go up to 3 there.
Yeah.
Do you think at this moment should any of these teams panic, or do you think they're still gonna be fine on the games that are left? There's pretty much most teams have about 4 to 5 games left on average. Do you think it's a bit? Or do you think they're in panic mode now?
I don't want to say panic mode. I don't want to say panic mode, but I think teams have to be aware. Like, I had a chance. So last Friday, I kept the Brewers game against Steels. So Pease, homeboy Pease, he's out with injury right now. So they had Jeffrey Lefebvre's usual receiver replace him at quarterback. I'll tell you what happened. The Brewers, I'm just gonna do the quick math here. The Brewers have scored. The Brewers pretty much dropped 48 points on Steelers. Before that game, the Brewers high was 24.
Okay.
So they doubled their points with the change at quarterback. And I love Peace. Peace is my boy, but it is what it is. He'll tell you he's not the greatest quarterback of all time in FPF. But having Jeffrey Lefebvre in there, or Jeff Lefebvre, pardon me, is the QB. I mean, it just brought something different to the offense. The ball was coming out crispy. He went 20 of 27 with 6 touchdown passes and only 1 INT.
Jeff's usually the quarterback for the Brewers.
That's what I thought, but like Pease, I don't know. Pease is throwing a lot of passes this season. Like I thought Jeff was the quarterback too, but then I was talking to Pease on the sideline before the game. He goes, "Yeah, I can't throw right now because he has, I believe, it's a hand issue." And I'm looking at the stats.
Are you? No, I don't.
No, Pease is throwing more. Pease is throwing more. Pease is the regular quarterback.
Oh, it's so weird because I have 52 attempts, 33 9 touchdowns.
Okay, so I hear you, but then Pease has 132 attempts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has 13 TDs and 7 INTs.
Oh, it's so weird. I guess maybe they want to have maybe like a change up. Unless maybe what division? This is Division
D.
D? What's the cap for
D?
D? Roster violations. So Division D, QB cap is 73. Yeah, so Jeff is
so Jeff's a 68. Jeff's a 68 as a quarterback. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he wanted to play receiver. That happens sometimes, and you're playing quarterback a lot, and you kind of just want to. Because Jeff, when I met Jeff, he played on the Monstars with me.
Right.
This is about, I want to say, like 10 years ago.
Past. Yeah.
So he was a receiver. He was a good receiver too. So I mean, he kind of wanted to get back into catching some balls instead of throwing them.
Well, we'll see what's up. They're playing tomorrow night at Lavelle again. Right? I'll be there tomorrow. They're playing Born Ready. So, I mean, we'll see what's up with that. But yeah, to answer your question, all right. I mean, I don't want to say panic time. Yeah, and most teams have at least 3 to 4 games left, right? So, I mean, you handle your business. You're in the playoffs if you're not in already, right? So, like Team Ethnic, like you said, like 1-5-1. They're 1 point up on Fumble Factory, Born Ready, Brewers, and Steels, right? Though that glut of 4 teams right there with 2 points each, that's really huge, right? Let's say Brewers knock off Born Ready. Again, that's going to be a big game on Friday night. The Brewers would then potentially actually jump all those other teams and Team Ethnic, provided Team Ethnic doesn't win, and they'll be tied with a bunch of teams like Veerlings, Bullseye, and the boys are back, right? Who have 4 points. So I don't want to say panic time yet, but you definitely have to be aware of the teams that are behind you. And Brewers are actually playing Team Ethnic. That's coming up. That's coming a Sunday. So it's a big 3 days starting Friday for the Brewers, right? Like I said, they have the first game on Friday night, and then they're playing Team Ethnic on Sunday. So Born Ready Friday, Team Ethnic Sunday. So that's a big 4 points right there for the Brewers, and a big 2 points for Team Ethnic, obviously, and Born Ready.
Also, if the Brewers do end up losing those 2 games, they only have 2 games left in their season.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
Season's actually going by pretty fast for some reason, or unless maybe it's just me, but
that is going by quick. It is going by quick.
I feel like it's going pretty fast. I guess last year just there were so many weeks and like so many teams. I remember I feel like at this point some teams only played like 3 games. I was like, teams are like 7. Now it's a good rate. Everyone has like 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 5. They have 2 games this weekend, so they're going to be at 7.
Yeah.
In most divisions, so it's good to see it's going a bit faster.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about anything else in Division D.
Let's go over to C.
Kind of said what I wanted to say. Oh, actually, last question. Snowden Deli Degens and Rum and Coke, right? Both 6-0.
Yep.
Rum and Coke the boys are back that are not one of the best teams. Born Ready, Studs, and Brother Men.
Yeah, Brother Men.
Let me just look at Born Ready and Studs here. So Born Ready is
Born Ready,
1-4,
not in the playoffs. Yeah.
Studs are 4-2. So they have a big matchup with they have a big matchup versus Studs coming up, and then Snowden, Deli Degens. They have Ballhawks, Super Turbos, Bullseye, and Trinity. So out of these 2 teams, who do you think has an easier path to go 10-0?
Oh, for sure, it's Rum and Coke. It's right. It's easy. It's Rum and Coke, 100%. Because you look at this, you look at the Snowden Deli Degens, like, okay, so they have the Ballhawks, right? So the Super Turbo Navettes, I find it always a tough out. And then you have Bullseye, and we talked before, right, about Trinity. Trinity again coming off of a big win.
Mhm.
You just look at you look at all those teams, like for the Snowden Delhi Deacons, just going back to the standings here. Every single team they face right now, if the playoffs started today, are in the playoffs. You can't say the same thing for Rum and Coke, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. True.
Just looking, double checking before I shoot my mouth. Yeah. Born ready, not in the playoffs, right? Yeah. The boys are back. Like I said, not the strongest team, and Studs and the Brother Men. I
Brothermen
like that
are
name, Brother Men. That's
3-4,
funny.
so and then
Yeah.
Studs are 4-2. So Studs is gonna be the hardest game in the matchup because they probably have
There you go.
right now they probably have one of the best defenses or close to top 5 defenses.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we can go Division C. So, okay, cool. So we have, so to be honest with you, I score kept about 2-3 weeks ago, and I saw the team LeBron Torridge. LeBron.
Oh, it's LeBron Tourage.
LeBron Tourage. Okay.
Yeah.
So this team got destroyed against Le Pizzicat.
Yeah.
This happened on Monday. Looking back at it, why did this guy throw? No, it's a quarterback. So the Gianni, the quarterback from
Cassetti. Yeah, LeBron Tourage.
Yeah, he had a horrible game. He went 8 for 17, 132 yards, 2 TDs, 4 INTs. We know Le Pizzicat is a very good team when everyone's on the same page. They played last season. I forgot who they played. They played a similar team that kind of just went on deep on them, and they were in coverage. They just got manhandled. Like they were in the right spots. I remember I watched after my game in I want to say it was at Papineau or Stat. Yeah, it was at Papineau. They were always in the good spot. They just got manhandled. I don't know how to say, like, you're in a good spot, you're in good coverage. The ball just gets a bit thrown. The ball is thrown a bit over like your head, and the guy just made a play. And they end up losing that game by 20 because I had these guys to win a championship. I think this was Division C last year.
Yeah, they were in C last year.
Sorry, Division 3 last year, I want to say.
Okay, you're talking about the winter. Okay.
Yeah, the winter. Yeah.
Okay.
So right now the Pizzicat is 6-0. So this game is a huge statement game because I think it's going to be these two. If these two teams don't meet each other in the playoffs, I think if these two teams, if they don't meet each other in the playoffs where they can knock each other out, I think these are the two teams going to be in the finals.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's a 1 and 2 seed, right? So yeah, like I said, Pizzicat now 7-0. LeBron Tourage, they were in first pretty much all season. Now they're 6-1 due to the drop, right? I mean, those are the two top teams. Like I play in Division C, so I can tell you those are the two top teams in Division C. Speed Academy, no disrespect to them. Speed Academy right on their tails. I think I've played against Le Petit Carras. I mean, they eliminated my team last spring. I'm not sure if it's the semifinals or quarterfinals. I can't remember. And I remember it was a back and forth game against those guys. A quarterback pretty much gave them the game, but I mean, it is what it is. They made more plays than we did, but they're a tough out. I remember even watching them in lower divisions when they were coming up. They have always a big fan base, which is always cool. So props to their girlfriends, the parents, the friends, all that to come out. They're a tough out, and they have speed and they have size. A lot of those guys are former players at Champlain College, right? So they know the game. LeBron Tourage, obviously a lot of current and former Connu guys, right? I mean, you look what they did defensively. They Jeremy Murphy and his brother Josh Murphy. I think combined they had less than like 30 yards or less than 40 yards combined in that game, right? I mean, and it is what it is. Like Jeremy Murphy is a former CFL player, and you're holding this guy off the scoreboard, right? I think he had one catch for like 4 yards.
Yeah, it's a bad game. It's a bad game.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But it is impressive. I have to say it's impressive because they have a stacked team. Like I watched them play in Brossard and it was effortless. I'm like who said you guys could sign this team up for Division C?
Yeah, I remember Ben and Jeffrey were talking to me about that earlier in the season as well. And I was like, listen, it's smart though, right? It's a lot of guys who, again, like Ahmed Boubacar, right? He's playing Connu, a lot of guys, Josh Murphy and all that. Guys who play university haven't played that much FPF.
This whole team played for Connu. are plays on Kanye. The whole
100%.
roster,
Yeah.
from top to bottom.
Yeah. It's
Um,
true.
to be honest, it's very scary. But the thing is, I also get it because I feel like if they were in Division B, they would struggle. They wouldn't be 6-1. They would probably be
true.
like 2-4, maybe
Exactly.
even 1-5,
Yeah.
or 1-6 or whatever. I think they would struggle a lot.
Well,
So I mean,
yeah. Well, sorry, my bad. So here's the thing with these guys, I think, right? Like phenomenal athletes, top to bottom. I've seen their quarterback Cassetti throw. He's not a bad quarterback. Is he elite? No, he's not. I think with time he might get better, and we see it. Like the game against the Petit Carras, like he kind of crapped the bed, and that's a big reason why the team lost. Not to say he won't rebound. He still has still has 3 regular season games left plus the postseason, so I'm sure he'll be better, and he has been better than what he showed so far this season, at least last week. I think though the thing is with a lot of these teams where it's like a lot of tackle guys. Like I remember there was another Con-U team for a buddy of mine, Will Tremblay, who's I think he's his draft year coming up actually. He plays for Con-U. He plays defensive end / linebacker. I remember playing them in the first round of the playoffs last year. I can't remember their names right now. It'll come to me. And my team knocked them off in the first round of the playoffs, but like they were a tough out. But I think with a lot of these teams where it's just tackle guys, you have the explosion, you have the athleticism. A lot of guys have some size too. Even the guys that don't have a lot of size can make plays. But I think teams that lack like that thorough like flag experience, I think they fall short. And then they start you start relying on your athleticism in that, and you get beat by pretty much teams that are not smarter than you, but just have more experience than you have.
yeah,
right?
you get in situations when things are not going your way, especially for a team like this. They kind of did whatever they wanted. It's to a point where let's just say your quarterback's struggling a bit, and it becomes to a point where you'll say you're down by maybe 2 or 3 scores or 2 scores, and it's the point where you get into the huddle and you're like, "Yo, throw me the ball, I'm open." And then he's like, "Trust me, I'm open." The cover, and then some reason you run into a coverage where they're too deep and the quarterback's kind of like not really paying attention. He's like, "I'm gonna throw him the ball." Throws him a ball. It's a bad ball. It becomes a pick, and it just gets worse after that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. You could pound mistake with another mistake, and then when you just try to rely on your athletic ability to win, it does work sometimes, but definitely not all the time.
Mm-hmm. Do you see the Pizza Cahet going undefeated this season? They have 3 games left. They play Mongoose, Speed Academy, and Big Fat Bat.
Big Fat Bass. Nah. So I don't see. I see them losing a game. I see them losing the middle game you talked about, right? I see them losing the Speed Academy. I think that's going to be kind of like the game of the night. It's going to be Imbrasars. I think maybe well, you'll be there. I'll be there on the 15th. That should be a really good game. I see honestly Speed Academy getting the W there. Mangoose. I mean, my team lost to them, so I mean, I can't be talking too much trash. I wasn't there for that game, so I just saw the boss score after, and I was told what happened. I mean, it's a 1-win team. I don't think they're knocking off the Petit Carras. No disrespect to them, they're a good team, but I mean, they're not knocking off the Petit Carras. Big Fat Bats, same thing. If Big Fat Bats, if they can outscore you, I played against them as well this year. We lost to them, and we couldn't stop their deep ball, and they will attack and attack and attack.
Yeah, they just keep going for it. They don't care.
But then their defense is like Swiss cheese, and they give up a lot of points as well. So I mean, I love Petit Carras. If you could get like 1 to 2 stops against the Big Fat Bats, you're gonna beat them. That's simple as that. Against Mangoose, again, they have some talented players, but I don't think they'll be able to keep up with Petit Carras. But I do think they'll Speed Academy. We talked last week about Felix, Derry, Bernard. I think he's going to be the wide receiver of the year. There's a lot of weapons on that team. They can match the size and the speed of Le Petit Carras. How you beat Le Petit Carras is if you make them one-dimensional. If you get up on them and you force them to come from behind and you take away the short game, the intermediate, if you force Jason Reyes, the quarterback, to throw deep all the time, that's where the mistakes will happen. That's where the turnovers will happen. You have to make them one-dimensional as an offense.
Okay. Well, Speed Academy, if you guys are listening, you get free pointers.
Picking you guys. Making it happen. All right. Division B?
Yeah, I think I don't have any notes on.
All right, noise. I got you. So Division B here. Let's go to Div B.
Wow. Yeah. Division B.
So I will say for Div B, so I wrote an article finally, came out a couple of days ago. I have another article. So this episode is coming out Friday. So by the time you see this episode, the article will be out. I'm going to be finishing it tomorrow morning. So the article should talk about it as if it's already done. Yeah, you know what? The article's already done. Make sure to go to flatplusfootball.com to see it. It'll be the second Division B article of the season. I'll have another one for you guys on Sunday as well. I'm trying to catch up article wise. But yeah, so 9-1, kiss my in-laws. Their regular season. Sorry, no, wrong. My bad. I apologize. When you have too many screens open with FPF stuff, and by accident you go to spring 2024 instead of spring 2025, I was like, wait a second, kiss my in-laws. That doesn't sound right. All right. Okay, so yeah, Division B now. Looking at the standings.
So the standings, we have Poseidon's Kiss that actually got their first loss of the season.
Yep.
But they lost versus Silent Ticklers. So I think we were kind of saying that Silent Ticklers is a team where Silent Ticklers are good. The only thing is sometimes you don't get sometimes Silent Ticklers, you don't get the good side. Sometimes when they crash. That's one thing I have to say about this team.
Yeah.
When they crash, they crash. Like it's weird to say. We saw it a bit in the playoffs last season. But when they're on, they're on. They'll drop a 40 bomb on you like it's nothing. But when they're 100%. Off, they're off. So they actually only have one loss, and I think it's a forfeit loss because it's
it is. Yeah, it is. That's why I wrote, it's the first article that I released. I actually talked about that a little bit. They have a forfeit loss, I believe, to Fins Up. I'm looking at it here. Yeah, it's against Fins Up. But if you look at the box score, they actually beat Fins Up in the game, but it's a roster violation for Silent Ticklers. That's why they ended up losing that game 30-0. But if you actually look at the box score, they played the whole game. Silent Ticklers actually won that game.
Yeah, they won by 1.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I'm glad you brought this up. So I want to ask you actually about Silent Ticklers. So again, like you said, it's a team. When they're on, they're on. When they're firing on all cylinders, they're a very hard team to stop. We saw it in the winter season, right? With Division 2 against ECW, they couldn't stop them defensively. Do you think if the Silent Ticklers are firing on both sides of the ball, like their offense moves the ball up and down the field effortlessly, like Jordan Panetta, I think, is actually the best quarterback in Division 2. He always weapons. They've been together forever, right? Guys like Tanner Burrell, Jack Antaki, also Adam Rose, and all those guys. Brandon Vickers. They've been down in my city. They've been around for a million years together. So chemistry, Mike Sonobi, it's never an issue with these guys. Marty Freeman as well. My question though is, do you think, looking at the regular season schedule remaining, right? They have Shake and Bake, Mangoose. That's going to be a really good game. Run and Went, so they're playing you guys. Idaho out of Pimps, and then finish off the regular season again playing Shake and Bake. Do you think though, with the Silent Ticklers, if they go into the playoffs firing on both sides of the ball, they're getting stops defensively, Panetta's throwing bombs, he's throwing intermediate passes, they're doing what they need to do, do you think they have enough talent, Silent Ticklers, to go all the way?
In this division, yeah. I think their biggest test, as you said, is going to be Mongoose. As again, I guess I'm a Poseidon's Kiss hater, but I don't think they're going to win a championship.
Oh boy! Okay, here we go. I want to see if they're playing on Sunday because they're going to be watching this for sure. I want to hear about it. All right, my bad.
I don't think they're going to come. I think I think the two unless let's Run and One. The thing is, Run and One has a really good team as well.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be I'm gonna actually just it's Jeff sometimes. Jeff's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off.
Very true.
He did a some of like the Avengers on his team. I don't know how he even fit that roster. You know, I guess when you know the right guy, you could pull some strings.
You got the keys to the castle. You can do what you want.
But I guess Jamal Moore's on his team. So the question is Silent Ticklers to go all the way. To be honest, I think it's probably one of the teams that should go all the way.
Okay.
A lot of times, especially like they've been in this league for so long, they've been playing with each other for so long. Like there's no reason for them to even not go all the way. Like I think this is probably like Jordan Panetta is probably not gonna be able to throw in Division B soon. He's gonna have to throw in Division A, and they're gonna have to make a kind of a switch between Run It Once and them, or maybe some guys. Sometimes they have guys that are on the same team, so we're gonna have to see how that works. But it's just like also like guys like Ben, it's like I'm able to play with them. I actually think that's about it. Depends if Adam Rose and stuff like that play on Division 1 with Jeff and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't think Panetta is going to be able to throw in Division B next year. So I'm just looking at the roster verification. So right now his quarterback is at 87.5. QB cap is at 90 Division B. So assuming it doesn't change from now until next year, looking at his stats, passing. So he doesn't. Yeah. So he's only thrown one. He doesn't. He's played 4 games. Okay. He has 20 TDs and 1 INT. So he's not throwing any INTs at all. He doesn't have the most yards like compared to a quarterback like Will Power that's at 1,349 when he's at 716. Will Power has 6 games. He has 4 games. 35 touchdowns, 7 INTs. So he's throwing 5 TDs a game. So him and Power's averaging 6. He's averaging 5. Yeah. But like his stats are pretty good. His rating's definitely going to go up. Is it going to go higher than 1.5? I'm not sure. The fact that his interception rate right now is only at 1. If he ends up the season maybe at 2, he's definitely going to go higher than 1.5. So I think to answer your question, because right now I'm rambling, I think Silent Ticklers are going to win the Division B championship this year, but this is going to be their last one because they're going to have to go to Division A next year.
It's going to be interesting because, I mean, you talked about obviously with Division 1, right, with Jeff's team. I know Panetta plays receiver on Jeff's team in Division 1. My apologies. The name of his team is escaping me right now. But
yeah, but I think that's is it?
Or it's a 5v5. Yeah, maybe it's 5v5. Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry.
It's very weird, all these teams that Jeff has and the players as he has. But so the Jamesons, he has on his team, he has Adam. Does he have he does have most of the guys though. Yeah. Are they sub in? So they're gonna have to try to do something with that team. They're gonna have to try to find it because they're I don't think Silent Ticklers are gonna be able to have a team next year. I don't think they're gonna be able to go to Division B next year. As they shouldn't be. To be honest, they shouldn't even want to go in Division B next year if they end up winning it this year. If they end up losing it, maybe next year they could go back into it. But I think if they win it, I don't think there's no reason for them to stay back in B. I never get why teams, I never understood why teams do that. Like you win your championship and you like who wins a championship and stays in the same division? I guess like it's people say, oh, it's to defend our title.
Yeah,
like,
I guess,
to a certain point, no step. Like unless you're in a situation where you can't physically go up because roster situations where you have guys going there and then you kind of switch one guy here, switch one guy there, and you go back into division, sure. But if you have a fully roster loaded team and you're like, oh, we just won a championship, going back to the same thing, like why do you want to do the same thing all over, play versus the same teams again? Like you've done what you wanted. Like I think the biggest flex would be a team to start in Division 6, our division, our E or F, and just win a championship, go down. Like that'd be like what is it? Okay. In what league is it where you win a championship? You win 2 championships.
Premiership League, like soccer you're talking about, or
is it something? I forgot what league. Where if you win 2 championships, you're forced to go into a better division.
Premier League,
something like that. League, I forgot what league, but
I mean, soccer league. It makes sense. I mean, listen, I know like if I lost a championship to a team, I'd want to face them again the next year to avenge that loss, because part of you is always like, yeah, you could beat someone else for a championship, but it's not that team to beat you. But that's if you're the losing team. But yeah, if you're a winning team, I mean, ideally, unless your roster is really, really low ranked. I know, listen, some teams do jump up from Division 2 to Division 1 or Division B to Division A. Then they get spanked and they're coming down like the year after. So it's kind of like a whole wasted season, right? To go like 1-9 or 2-8 or 3-7, right? So I mean, it's there's pros and cons to both, but I do understand your argument though. Listen, if you win a championship, ideally, yes, you should be moving up to a higher division if possible.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel. So
no, fair enough.
All right. I think that's it for Division B.
Division B. So yeah, I just want to say one thing. So I know obviously we'll talk about it more in next week's show, but I know there's a big matchup, obviously between Les Verts and Shake and Bake. Those are the 2 teams who are last right now in the standings. Les Verts on the outside looking in terms of the playoffs, they are looking at it right now. They are tied for points with Shake and Bake. I was talking about an article that I put out. There's a big thing right now. So Leverage Full takes on Shake and Bake, like I just said. Never overtime with 4 points. They're hanging on to the second class playoff spot, as are Utah, I the Pin. So basically, those bottom four teams in the division, they kind of all play each other more or less the rest of the way. There's some other games mixed in there as well, but a huge battle for that last playoff spot. Because, like you said, 8 teams made the playoffs, 19 divisions. So someone's going to be on the outside looking in when we're all said and done. Right now, it's Les Verts Fall. Let's see if they can kind of remedy that situation. They have another game though before the matchup against Shake and Bake. I'm just looking right now at the schedule, waiting for it to pop up on my screen. Yeah, they have running once. So they're playing run at once. So it's actually they're off this week, Livers full. So they have a bye. So it's run at once on Sunday, July 13th, and then the night after, July 14th, they take on Shake and Bake. So two huge games for Livers Fall. They have to win at least one of those to really make sure they can solidify a playoff spot, at least temporarily, heading into week 10, week 11.
Yeah. So I had notes. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. To go on what you were saying, I had notes that I was basically kind of also saying that there was no longer no undefeated teams since Poseidon's kids lost. And then my question was, so who should be more worried in this situation? Shaker Bake or Les Verge Fools? Because right now they're 1-4, 1-5. They can catch never overtime, since never overtime has played 9 games and they're 2-7. So that's probably the one team that's catchable. I think the other 3 teams are not going to be catchable going forward. I think Idaho's going to get at least maybe 2 more wins, so they're going to have at least 4, which is going to be higher than no overtime. So they're able to bump them, and they have the tiebreak if anything. So I think it's going to be between those 3 teams. But right now, Never Overtime plays versus Shake and Bake, July 27th. So we're looking like at a good 3 weeks. It's the last game for Never Overtime. So it's also a huge break for them. They played June 29th, and then the next game is June 27th.
Exactly.
So they're gonna play in a month, which
that's it. Yeah.
It's not the best thing. I know they also play a 5v5 as well, some of their guys. But for my question was, who should be more worried, Shake and Bake or Les Verge Full?
I mean, I would say Livers Fall should be most worried. I mean, Shake and Bake, they have a better quarterback, they have a better roster. They just haven't been able to put it all together this year. I was actually talking about that in the article that I put out the other day. Like they added to a team of like Denny Martel, Mark Andre Reeves, Victor Blutin. They added Jerome Ovington, and they added Felix Boutte. It hasn't seemed to come together for this team, which is surprising. I mean, you're adding 2 all-stars to a roster that was already pretty solid. But I mean, I'm gonna put my faith in the team with more talent, and in the team right now with, well, not the better record, you have the same record more or less, but the team right now who's in that playoff spot and Shake and Bake versus Les Verge Fall. Again, we talked about it throughout the season, and again, I mentioned in my article, like Les Verge Fall, the roster has been so in flux all season. Guillaume Bellan, who's their best player, has been there for like 2 games. It's not his fault, obviously. He's doing the whole thing with Team Canada, and they're just rotating guys in and out. When Bellan comes back, that's going to be a huge lift for the team. So maybe some people might want to put their money on them in terms of who's going to get that last playoff spot. But I'm going to say, actually, you know what? I'm going to, sticking with what you were asking for your question, I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I think the team that should be the most worried is Never Overtime. Because you mentioned, right, they have a month between their last game and their next game, right? Like you said, their last game is the end of, it's on the 29th, I believe, of 27th, pardon me, of July, right? Their last game was June 29th. So like you said, almost a month off. The only thing, and they're taking out Shake and Bake, so it's kind of a must-win game. Like if you win that game, you're in the playoffs for sure. The one thing I will say though about Never Overtime is Ryan Caruth, the quarterback, he's been hurt. He hasn't played in a few weeks. I don't have my article in front of me. I'm still gonna have to go online and look now to see his last game. I had written it down in my notes, but I can't find it. Ryan Caruth has missed the last couple of games due to injury. So it's been Olivier Sabarin, like one of their actually underrated receivers, who's been stepping in at quarterback. But again, maybe I'm not sure what his injury is, but again, having a month off, hopefully that'll heal it for him, because again, he has one of the biggest arms in all of FPF, especially here in Division Two, and the chemistry he has with his receivers, specifically Rami Aboud and Mac DeSource, like you can't replicate that. And having Sabran, who's a decent quarterback in his own right, but you have him come off of playing receiver, and he's one of the guys that has a lot of height in that offense, right? A lot of the guys that like DeSource and Aboud, they're shorter guys, right? So having a guy like Sabran in there, like he gives a little bit of height to that offense, but having him a quarterback that takes that away, right? So yeah, looking at it here, Ryan Caruth, he's played 6 games, 24 touchdown passes, 8 INTs. He's completing 58% of his passes. But his last game, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is week 5, I think. I'm just gonna double check that here. But anyways, it's been a long while since he's played due to injury. So hopefully the month off will give him some time to keep on rehabbing.
Well, I remember he posted something on Instagram, and it was like broken hand or whatever.
Okay.
Something broken hand, whatever. Still threw 5 TDs or something like that, around those lines.
Yeah. So I have it here. Yeah, his last game was June 10th. June 12th. So I mean, what are we? July 6th today? Yeah, July 3rd. So, I mean, yeah, it's almost a month for him as well. It's been like 3 weeks, right, since he's played.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going from June 12th.
Yeah,
to
but he also does
29th,
play 5v5 as well, right? So I'm not.
Yeah, that's true, but
that is gonna help him a bit.
Yeah, but has he played though with 5v? Because I know he it's 5v5. Yeah, but with still CRA, right?
That's exactly. Team. Which they're doing pretty well.
The question, has he played? Because he's only played 7 games with them. I'm trying to see when the last time he threw for them. Yeah, they have a forfeit win over the Mavericks. I'm trying to go back to the game against the Giants. That's back on June 26th. Yeah, not that bad. It's the other day actually.
They have, never mind. They have 9 games played as well too.
Which is odd, right? So you were talking before, right, in one of the earlier divisions about a lot of teams, even myself as well. A lot of teams that have like about 3-4 games left.
Yeah, and they play their last game August 3rd. I was about to say. Yeah, for some reason, I was like, oh, they already played. So they played literally a month. So yeah, so he's kind of in a situation where I hope he's throwing the ball a bit somewhere with. Yeah, I guess he has to be with some of his friends. They go out the park or something and they launch the ball around. Because if they have guys on this team that play on the other team as well, like none of these guys are gonna be playing it the next month.
That's a long time off.
Yeah,
that is a long time off.
Also, something to kind of look at. Which is the last thing I have for Division B. William Power, are we giving him the quarterback of the year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Marvin, receiver of the year?
I want to say yeah. I
have the stats here, just taking care of it.
I hear you. So I'm making an argument. So I'm in the article that is out right now that it's freshly published. I go into who's going to win quarterback of the year and who's going to win receiver of the year. I like Steinberg and Power, 2 guys that I'm friends with, and 2 guys that are phenomenal players throughout their tenure here in FPF. But there's some other players who could be making an argument for quarterback of the year, definitely, and obviously receiver of the year as well. So stats are one thing. Stats are great, but you also want to factor in who can make a play when your team needs it most, who like comeback victories, clutch throws, clutch catches. Those I think go into the equation a little bit as well. Just if you're leading your division in touchdowns, that's obviously a huge factor in your favor. But don't forget, right? Some of these guys playing in a higher division as well, right? So they might not exactly be eligible to win something in Division B if you're contention for something in Division A. But
is it? That's how it works.
Yeah, it's kind of how it works. Yeah, like you can be playing in 2 divisions, obviously, but like let's say if you're nominated for quarterback of the year in Division A, let's say you win it, you're not going to win in Division B as well.
Okay. Well, I don't think Marvin. I guess we'll see the next. We'll see when we go Division A, because I didn't really look at the stats there. I was only looking at his stats for Division B. But he has 5 games played, 13 TDs, so he ties with everybody for TDs. The top 2 guys that are there, and he has 333 yards. He doesn't have that many yards compared to the guy that's first from Never Overtime, but he has 9 games with 13 TDs. So the guy from Never Overtime, Mac DeSource.
Mac DeSource, yeah.
Yeah, so he's the max. I'm gonna say he's probably gonna have maybe 15 TDs. Let's just say 720 yards, like that.
Okay.
By that time, Marvin should probably be at 20 something,
Yeah,
and
makes
at
sense,
least
yeah.
at least 600 yards. So he's gonna have him. He's gonna have him on TDs and yards, and then you have the other next guy, Ram Abud.
Yeah, but
He's at 5'9", you at 13, so they kind of have to share yards and targets in that their last game as well. So, and then the closest guy you have other than him is Mark Andre. That's I'm assuming he's snapping, and he's at
Marc-Andre Lapointe, yeah. He's just snapper.
He's at 324. It's 10 TDs. So I think if Marvin's having these games where he's scoring freaking 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, I think he's definitely going to be in the spot to win receiver of the year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so hop over to Eve.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
So let me just open it here. Okay, so Division A. Wait, maybe I'm confusing Division A and 5v5. 1 second. It's taking forever to load. I'm not sure if it's my okay.
Yeah, no.
So
same here.
So Division A, we have Braves 5-0. Okay, Idaho 3-3, 3-3, 3-3. Jameson 3-4, 2-3. I would have loved one stop right now to like make it if they were like 2-3. I feel like that would have been so cool to have all these teams so close because you have Braves that are kind of running away with it, right? They're 5-0, but if one stop could win their next game and they could go 2-5, the next game that one stop plays. Taking forever to load. So next game one stop plays is Vultures. So if they could beat the Vultures, I believe the Vultures are 3-3.
Yep, they're 3-3. Yep.
Yeah, so if they could beat the Vultures, they'll bring the Vultures to 3-4. They'll bring one stop 2-4. So that means they were going to be one game behind. They do play the Braves, which is not going to be the best matchup, and then they have Party Crashers, Vultures, and Idaho. So again, how this division's going, it seems like anyone can lose, except for the Braves right now. So, it's going to be very interesting going down the stretch to see if one stop could somehow win against the Vultures. It's going to open up the standings, and if other teams kind of could just lose, because if we could have a close to like a 4-way tie going down to it, just one stop kind of has to step it up, which they do have a roster to kind of win games. They did make a big jump this year, and they went Division A. So shout out to them. Again, one thing I realized about Division A is like anyone could win, anyone could lose. It's like as you can see, a lot of teams, as to say example for my team, we played one stop and we lost against them. Wait.
Infantry, you guys beat them 33-26.
Who did we play against? Who was our back-to-back games?
You beat them twice. Yeah, you guys beat one stop twice. No, sorry, no, my bad. Yeah, one stop beat you. Pardon me. Yeah, one stop beat you week 1, and then you guys beat them in week 5. My bad.
Yeah. So exactly. That's what I want to get to, right? So they beat us 33-26, and then we come in and beat them 35-24. So we kind of change wins like that. But I feel like that's going to be happening a lot in this division, where a lot of teams, instead of you lucky to beat them twice in your schedule, a lot of teams are going to be sharing those 1-on-1, which is pretty huge because that's what's going to make it so close. And coming down to like week 8, week 9, when there's only 2 games left, and you're going to have like a 3-way, 4-way tie within the standings, and then you have that one team that's like 3-5, and they kind of need to get an air win, and you're 4-5. You're like, hey, if we lose this game, that team can actually maybe catch up and get us.
Yeah,
so it's going to be very interesting how the rest of the season goes, unless one stop kind of just drops the ball. They lose. Their next game is versus Vultures. If they lose versus Vultures, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to lose versus Braves. They might get lucky versus Vultures though, because the game is July 6th. It's Sunday. A lot of teams that are playing on this weekend, a lot of players are gonna be missing
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
national.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And so
Um,
and that's what they need to do. If one stop wants to make the playoffs, I'm gonna say it right here. If one stop wants to make the playoffs, they need to win this weekend.
yeah, it's gonna take a big advantage because I know for a fact Benny's gonna be in nationals. I don't think he's probably not gonna come Sunday. Sunday it's playoffs
What's
for the
that?
seniors men's if they make it. I'm pretty sure they will make it. AJ's probably gonna make it as well. So that's two of their top guys that are not gonna be there.
Yeah,
Again, maybe Benny will go. It depends. I'm not exactly sure. He's supposed to be throwing two for nationals, so I don't know how good his arm's gonna be. I know for a fact AJ's probably not going to be there because there's going to be playoffs for the senior men's, and his team shouldn't make it that far. So they're definitely going to be
right.
down on bodies or at least sore. So I don't think anyone from One Stop is playing in nationals. So it's something where they're going to have to take it. They're going to have to take advantage in this
Yeah,
situation because again, if they end up losing versus Vultures and then they play Braves and probably lose that game, they become 1-6 with only 3 games left. So it's going to be they're going to end up digging themselves in a hole, especially how a lot of teams are going right now. It would give Vultures a win, so they'll be 4-3 with 3 games left,
yeah,
and the tie break on one stop. They do play again, but they will have the tie break for that time, and then it's pretty much it might be like a do or die situation if they play Vultures again, where they have to win to kind of slide themselves in, and then they have to look about points and against because if they both finish the same record, it might be a points and against thing. So
yeah. That's it. Yeah,
a lot of things to talk about. It just once basically point in the story, One Stop needs to win this weekend if they want to make
100%.
everything interesting and how the rankings are and how the teams are. If One Stop could win this weekend, it's going to be huge for Division A to put pressure on the rest of the teams.
So that's it, right? And they're playing a Vulture squad like last week. I worked the Vultures game last Sunday morning. I was talking to Ben. Half the team was missing. 3/4 of the team was missing. They were trying to get subs. They lost. They actually got smoked 46-13 by the Party Crashers, right? Led by Jean-Lee Alexis. So Jean-Lee said Fred Dupuis was that quarterback for the Party Crashers. They were just having their way, hitting deep balls, hitting everywhere, bad tackling. Even Ben was like, "Yeah, this is horrible." But I mean, it is what it is. But except if most of those guys are missing for the Vultures this weekend, this Sunday, then it might be 2 losses in a row then for the Vultures. But we'll have to see what happens. Um, no, for me, I'm good for Division A. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or
Yeah, that's good.
cool? All right, let's go over to women's three. Not much of a change in the standings. Cavaliers 5-1, sitting easily in first place right now. Well, not easily, but they're in first. Turf Titans 4-2, so 2 points behind the Cavs. So those two teams are easily up on She Sparks, who are 2-4, and Humble, who are 1-5. Apologize, a bit of technical difficulties right now with the Fly Plus football website. Just,
I think there's a lot of people just on it. To be
yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you,
that's probably what it is. Yeah.
I think there's a because I was thinking I'm like, okay, maybe it's my internet, but then I looked at my phone and I was trying to
Same, same.
I'm trying to see if exactly whatever. So I'm using my data and it's still doing the same thing. So I think
Yeah.
maybe right now 5+ is just bumping and everyone's kind of on it.
All right.
Usually you see that. Usually you see that the first week of the season, or no, you see that when the schedule comes out. When the schedule comes out, it's probably the
Oh yeah,
hardest thing to
yeah,
do is go on it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually someone that used to always refresh to kind of see when the schedule comes out. Schedule comes out, take all my screenshots, and I start telling everyone, "Yo, the schedule's out." They're like, "I can't even get on." So I make sure I get on. I make sure I
Good
see
call.
everything I want to see, and
Good call.
I just kind of let them
Good
defend for
call.
themselves.
I will say so. I'm able to get in now. So I will say shout out to She Sparks. Well, they got to win. Well, now technically it's almost 2 weeks ago against Humble. They knocked off Humble at 25-9. So She Sparks. So the rematch actually was going to be in 2 Sundays from now between She Sparks and Humble. It's going to be the third regular season meeting. Yeah, the third regular season meeting between those two teams. Obviously, it's the division lacking teams right now. Again, this is the first year for Women's C. So congrats to all those ladies who are coming out right now and trying to play some ball on that. Right now, only 4 teams, but it'll get bigger down the road, obviously.
Yeah, but again, as I said, we were kind of saying it's pretty cool that that they did this because no offense to these teams, but if they were playing in women's too, I think most of them would get destroyed.
Yeah,
The only team that I think would probably be able to defend themselves is the Cavaliers,
exactly.
and they still wouldn't do as well. So, so it's too like to. But it's a kind of thing when I was talking about the Braun
The entourage.
yeah, if they were playing like C is fine, but B would have been them in a situation where
Yeah,
it's like you kind of want it in between, but this situation you don't have it. So it's like kind of thing where we used to have B and A where A is no, but B would have been like it's like iffy, and then C
yeah,
is
yeah.
perfect, like to that point.
So it's like teams like No Regard, Stephen Harper saw his teams. Names are escaping right now. For anyways, teams who are like, do you want to put yourself up in A? You have some talent, but really you're a really good B team that's gonna struggle in A. So it's the same thing like this, like you're saying. It's a lot of these teams, pardon me, would struggle in B. Like I said, Cavaliers might have a chance, maybe even the Turf Titans. I mean, it is what it is based off their defenses, but yeah, right now women's C kind of finding their footing. All four teams, and they'll get better. And like I said, the division will get bigger for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sure. Yep. Okay, women's B coming up here. So we just talked about it.
Yeah, I kind of had notes from the thing.
Sure.
So how it's looking at it, and it's always like this. Chaos is not doing the best this year. They're not doing the
Yeah.
worst. They're not doing the best, but for some reason, they always find themselves in the semis or in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they do it. They ball out when it counts. But this year, right now, Wolfpack is looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the thing is not popped up, but I kind of know it from memory. They're 5-1. It doesn't seem like they're struggling as much, and it might be the year that Wolfpack gets their first championship.
It could be. Listen, I like this football team. They're a veteran team as well. A lot of those ladies have played together for a while. They've been through the battles, right? As has Chaos. I think speaking like to your point about Chaos, right? I mean, you got to look. They lost their homegirl Rochelle Valier playing right now for Sub Zero, so she wasn't going to play on two teams. They're 3-3, but you know what? Chaos struggled in the winter season too, and then they made it all the way to the finals, right? That's kind of the Chaos thing. Peaks and valleys. They ride high a little bit, they ride low a little bit, but they come playoff time. It's a veteran group of ladies who can all ball. So I think they'll be okay come playoff time. But yeah, it could be the year for Wolfpack. I like what I've seen out of Hebu.
Yeah, Eagles nice.
Yeah, Hebu, Emily Adam at quarterback. I think she's one of the top female quarterbacks in all of FPF. I really like what they're doing. A lot of weapons on both sides of the ball. But again, I want to see what happens come the playoffs, right? I have faith that Chaos will find their way and they'll be all right. I'm not going to be shocked if they make it to the finals again, but I mean, a lot of balls still to be played for between then and now and then.
Yeah. That being said about Emily Adam, just want to give her a shout out. She's actually competing in nationals for the
Nice.
women's, where
Nice.
she's playing for London Legends. So London Legends is the team in Ottawa. It's based on
Yeah.
a lot of girls that played for University of Western, and they kind of made their own club.
Nice.
Their quarterback is unfortunately not playing. I don't know exactly why, but she's not there. But they
Okay.
asked her to come play, and she said yes. So
Nice.
she's gonna be playing.
Oh
She's
yeah.
gonna be playing with them this past the weekend that's gonna be coming up. She's gonna be playing
Okay.
versus pretty much a lot of good competition. So it's gonna be nice to see how she's gonna perform under that type of pressure with a different team and versus a shit ton of good talent.
Okay. So good luck to her and good luck to her team. Good luck to all the ladies, all the guys taking part in nationals. It's gonna be a fun experience. Maybe some future teams being made, some future teammates down the line for a lot of these guys and a lot of these ladies.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to
Women's
Women's A.
A. Yeah. Yes, Sub Zero. I mean, it is what it is. I think.
Yeah. So again, it's not opening up, but I have a memory.
I hear
They
you. Yeah, 7-0.
Sub Zero put a clapping on Matrix this week, or
Yeah,
last week. I'm not
yeah,
exactly sure
yeah.
it was. I believe it was 48-6 when I was looking at it. So my my meme was who's gonna was it who's gonna cool them off something like that. Some
Yeah.
I'll say like who's gonna cool off
Yeah.
Sub-Zero? I do believe they play versus
Cayenne.
Cayenne
Is this
twice.
Sunday.
Uh, it's kind of getting me messed up because okay, so this week they play Sunday, right? All these women, the whole roster on both of these teams are playing nationals. I'm pretty sure everyone on that team. So I don't know if they informed the league before and they kind of said, oh, by the way, or both teams are going to forfeit, or there's going to be no game, because it's going to be a situation where playoffs at nationals is on Sunday. Both of these teams are most likely going to beat it, or a lot of these players from a lot of these teams are probably going to be in the playoffs. I don't believe why they wouldn't. So I don't know. And it's a lot of games being played. There's a lot of teams in the women's senior. I think there's 14. It's a round robin, so you're playing at least 4 games on the Friday and the Saturday. So like the last thing I know, a lot of people want to do, like even if you play on Sunday, what time do they play at?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. So yeah, it's gonna be like impossible, or it's gonna be a very weird roster for both of these teams.
Well, that's it. I think so. It's gonna be like similar to with Team Canada, right? Like when they were in LA, where it was ice cold against Sub-Zero on Laval, and like I think Sub-Zero made had 2 regular players. Everyone else, like they had like Maya DeFazio and a bunch of other subs playing for Sub-Zero. They still got the W over ice cold, 33-26, but it was a game of subs, so it's gonna be the same thing. I think this Sunday, Cayenne and Sub-Zero.
This is gonna be way worse,
ladies. Yeah.
This is gonna be
all the good players.
This is gonna be way. This is gonna be way worse.
Yeah.
I am gonna be interested to see exactly what they do, because I know like even for my co-ed team, we have a game on Sunday. Our 4 girls are like we wrote in a poll like who's gonna come, and they didn't even say maybe depend. They all wrote no.
Nope. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. I mean,
and I'm there. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just come by. I'll chill a bit, catch a little balls here and there, and then leave again. But they literally just wrote no. They're like, no, we have our nationals. I was like,
yeah, well, that's it. That's a scheduling problem. I gotta say, speaking of problems, I think I've dropped my pen like 4 times this episode, so I'm getting a new pen. All right. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, hopefully there'll be some ladies playing Sunday. I can con you. I'll be there, and I won't be scorekeeping that game, but we'll be looking out. Obviously, hopefully some ladies will come out. It's a chance for some of the females to get some run and hopefully have some fun and see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully we see something. They do end up playing again, so we will see them. We will see them. They're the full team, the full squad matchup.
Yeah, August 3rd.
But again, also some of these girls are leaving. Depends when they play. I believe some of these girls are leaving to
August 3rd is the final meeting, regular season.
Some of these girls are leaving to, I want to say China or something for the World Games, or like the Canada something championship for flag as well too. So it's gonna be a weird scheduling coming down the stretch, especially in August. So we'll see. Oh no wait. Sub-Zero and Cayenne play July 20th.
They do. Hold on a second here. Let me double check this here.
Yeah. So everything we said, whoever's gonna be watching this, whoever's a disregard, disregard everything we said. They play July 20th and August 3rd. So they'll see each other July 20th, and we should have a really good matchup that day.
Okay. Well, yeah, I did say August 3rd, so yeah, that 100%. That was the number. Yeah, you're right. August, July as well. Yeah, you're right. You're 100%.
That being said, we'll go into co-ed 3.
Sounds like a plan. Sorry, sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves. It's all right. It's a lot of teams, a lot of ball to talk about.
Just 3 weeks.
So my question, one last thing about that is, no matter, it's going to be a game of subs on both sides. Will Sub-Zero still be undefeated after the game of subs this Sunday? That's what I want to find out. I'm intrigued to see. I'm intrigued by that. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left here. Yeah, so you say co-ed 3. Let's do this quick.
My things I haven't opening up.
Yeah, same here. All right.
Co-ed 3.
Okay, so whatever. It'll come up when it comes up. So co-ed 3, I mean, some good ball being played. I had a chance to catch a couple of games this past co-ed games in general. I should say this past weekend, but co-ed 3 in particular. Well, one question I have for you is just with co-ed in general. So obviously it's been implemented now You need 3 ladies on the field at all times, which I think is awesome. And we talked about last week, right? It's an emphasis now being placed on making sure you're not just having girls on the field for having girls on the field, right? So a lot of these ladies can play. They're paying their money like everybody else. They deserve a chance to play and prove that they can play. I had a chance to talk with Lory Oullette again. Shout out to her. She came on the show last week. We were talking. She subbed for a team in Co-Ed 3. She was playing a couple different games here and there, so we had a chance to yap in that. And she's just like, yeah, like it's great to see and having more women involved in the game, and co-ed obviously is a huge part of that. What steps do you think though personally like they can maybe do here in FPF specifically, like to encourage more not just female participation, but to have a lot of the women's like to be implemented more in the game plan, I guess you could say.
For co-ed in general.
Yeah, just in co-ed in general. Just doesn't
Well, I
matter
think
what
they did a good job on making it 3 females in the field instead of being
yeah,
4 males and 4 males, 2 females. I think that
right.
I think that made a huge difference. Just how much impact a female girl could actually do compared to when you had 4 guys in the field and you're able to kind of not as you didn't really have to throw the ball to a girl because you had so many more wider opens, and the game is like like sometimes half the field is a bit slower, half the field is a bit faster because you kind of have to pick girls deep, some girls short. It's like it changes a lot of the aspect in the game, and that sometimes it makes it easier for offense to kind of get things rolling, or sometimes it makes it a bit difficult. Depends what type of quarterback you are and how you kind of see things. But something to I think that's pretty much like the best thing that could have been done. I don't see anything else to make it kind of make it more um to me. Oh, actually, one thing you could do is that you could say, uh, for you to get a first down, you have to make one completion pass to a female.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you about that because you mentioned that last week during the interview with Lory. Like some leagues kind of do that, right? Where
Yeah,
you
well,
have to throw.
yeah. So some leagues
Yeah,
you have to throw. She was saying some leagues you have to throw a pass to a female,
yeah,
to obtain a first down.
right.
So it's not. Let's just say you like as again it's 10 yards for a first down in co-ed, in co-ed in our co-ed divisions.
Yeah,
Um, So some teams were happening is that like so let's just say you get 12 yards on a QB run, you have to complete a pass to a player to obtain the first down. You won't get the first down if you don't complete the pass. There's that.
okay,
There's also some leagues where you get extra points for a female to score a touchdown. So a female touchdown is worth 8 points instead of being 6 points. So in certain situations where I did see when it was guys catch the ball, they drop the ball on the 1 yard line, and then they bring in 4 females or 5 females on the field because there's no rule that you can't have more than three girls in the field. You can't have more than 3 guys in the field. So a team would bring 5 girls in or 4 girls in, depends if they're playing 5v5 or 6v6. They would bring in 5 girls in, and they would try to throw a ball to a girl
right.
and get a touchdown.
Okay, well that makes sense. Okay. But let me ask you. So I was thinking about this earlier, right, when prepping for the show, and I was like, what about for co-ed? Maybe if you had something where like you'd have to have a female throw at least, let's say, I don't know, random number, 5 passes a game. Let's say, for example, so that way you can make sure you can have a male quarterback, you can have a female quarterback as well. That could be a way of females getting more touches in the game. Maybe something like that. Maybe not 5, maybe
Yeah,
something
it just
more, maybe
makes it
less.
makes it a bit complicated and then a bit sexist as well too, because it's to a
Right.
point where it's like I can't lie, like yeah, sometimes there is a difference between a male and a female, but a lot of the talent that we have now is just there's so many good females. Like I know some females that are better than some guys, you know. So
Yeah, for
I
sure. For
think
sure.
the best thing they did do was to make it fair on the 3-3 instead of being 4-2, which it does make sense. 3 guys in the field, 3 girls in the field.
Right.
But other than that, I don't think 5 catches. I don't think anything like that's necessary. I think that what they have now is cool. I do think the touchdown, having more points for the touchdown would make it a bit more cool because it's kind of like it's strategy wise. You're putting more strategy into it, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
saying, okay, well, we have the ball. It's like to a point where you also make a risk too, right? Because if you're in a situation where you're down by 8 points and it's third and like 10, and you're like, you know what? Let's get all the girls in the field. Let's score a touchdown here, and let's try to mix them. But sometimes it's like
Yeah.
you don't score, and then you get kind of in a situation, but like you're still safe, or you're down by 10. Let's say you're down by 10 points. You get the touchdown for the girl. That's 8, and then you get a 2-point convert. That's 10. So it gives you a better chance of catching up in certain situations.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that makes sense.
But other than that, I think when you have the catches, it's gonna make it complicated. People are gonna be complaining. It's so much more work to do, which I feel like it's not necessary right now. If we were in the same if it was the same situation where we were in the point where there was 4 guys in the field, I think something like that would be necessary. But the fact I think now that it's changed and it's 3v3, I think a lot of girls as well. I think Lory was saying that they feel more they feel more involved in the game.
Okay. I have a question I want to ask you about co-eds and kind of in the same vein that I was asking before, but I'll say that for the juice quickly at the end. Okay, so let's hop over quickly to 5v5.
Okay. 5v5.
I don't know about you, but I'm still having the same thing. Like the site is a timeout has occurred. So.
Yeah, so let's go. I know a lot about competitive for 5v5, so let's start with competitive, so we just don't kind of stand here and say nothing. Everyone lost, right? Braves are 5-2. Braves are 5-2, I believe. I want to say 5-2, 5-1. They lost their 2 games. They lost one versus Flag. I think they lost both versus Flag Maule, actually. Okay. So no more undefeated teams. Montreal Magic also lost as well, so they're 5-1. I was actually laughing about it. I was saying it was the revenge tour for Dan because they were 5-0. They were 6-0. I was kind of laughing about it. They ended up losing to, I want to say they lost versus Raw Dogs. They didn't have their full roster. Dan also said he didn't play the greatest, but they end up losing. So right now we have no undefeated teams. We have Braves and Raw Dogs that are tied. Braves, Raw Dogs, and Flag One that are tied. Yeah. KGP right under. ECW 2-5. Party Crashers 2-4. No Regard 1-5. Sooners 0-5. No Regard got. We didn't talk about it last week, but No Regard got their first win of the season. I think 2 weeks ago. So congratulations to them. Sooners are still looking to get one. They do end up playing versus each other again. So hopefully Sooners are able to get that win. It's gonna be very complicated on both the teams because they'll have tie records. It's gonna be points against, and right now they're close. Sooners have 215, Norgard has 217. So that's gonna be very interesting going in the stretch if Sooners could get that win, and then I don't think Norgard Sooners are gonna be anybody else. But other than that, it's gonna be very interesting going down the stretch because they're gonna have to strategize to see, okay, well, we're gonna play this team. We have to make sure they don't beat us by like 40 points from the points that these teams are allowing right
now. All right.
But other than that, nothing really else to say. Just that Montreal Magic is their magic right now. Braves are back to reality. Raw Dogs, Jeff is doing well over there. Flag Moi beat the Braves twice now, so it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go into the playoffs. KGP is 4-4, middle of the pack. ECW's they got the win that they needed. Party Crashers are not doing so well. I'm surprised they're 2-4, but again, they have 4 more games left, long season. And then again, shout out to No Regard for getting their first win of the season.
All right, shout out indeed. And so basically, everything is fluid. Nothing's been settled. Again, a lot of teams losing, a lot of the favorites losing. So obviously, again, to go down to the wire. Can't expect anything else from 5v5. All right, let's hop over quick before we sign off here. So the juice, maybe even 4 downs. We kind of combined them both this week. So we talked earlier about Cayenne and Sub-Zero. Obviously Nationals, right? So we're gonna see a rematch, or not a rematch, but for the millionth time, Sarah Parker against Sandrine Gobet-Huot. So again, we had that poll earlier in the season. A lot of people were saying that Sandrine is a better quarterback, and a lot of other people were saying Sarah Parker is the best quarterback. Cayenne, Sub-Zero. Those 2 ladies will be going head-to-head, I imagine, during this tournament. So good luck to both ladies. In the next chapter of, again, Gobet-Huot against Parker. May the best lady win. Excited about that. One thing we talked about before earlier, again, with the co-ed rule was, I said maybe having, let's say, 5 passes being thrown by a girl. Maybe, let's say we have 1 pass per drive by a female. Maybe that could be something different we do next year in FPF. I don't know.
Something different. Something also something it's not very juiceable, but it's kind of like something to kind of say. What do you think is worse? Showing up to a game and having it to be forfeit, or losing a playoff game on the last play?
Losing a playoff game on the last play.
Okay.
Because at least if you're the winning team and you have the forfeit, it sucks driving, wasting your time and money and gas. But I mean, you win, so your season continues.
Yeah, but I mean, like you show up and then there's no game. Like,
yeah, no, that sucks. But I mean, at least you know the week after you're still playing, right? If you lose on the last play, it's heartbreak. Your season's done. It's a horrible way to go home.
Okay, I'm scared. I know some people are like, it's definitely last play, but some people are like, oh, bro, no, I pay to play, whatever. I look forward for my game of the week, and you show up and then 100%. There's no game, you know? So
100, it sucks. 100% it sucks. But again, your season continues versus your season is done and you have no games to play and no highlight, no game of the week after to look forward to if your season is done, right?
Mm-hmm. Something that's tough. Well, I'm just gonna say the thing. Something to talk about. So Canada Senior Championships is this weekend.
Yep.
So the Team Canada has a roster team kind of put in, but they're mixed with the Braves. So Braves have two teams that are put in. The Team Canada defense is playing in the Nationals, but their offense is not playing. Instead of their offense, they're going with a semi-young Braves team where you're gonna have Will Tuxley, James Drysdale, I want to say Francis Cochelot, Gab Champagne, and I think Guillaume Belin. And then on the defense, they're gonna have their regular five guys that they had: Phil Fahan, the common four guys that they had going into the LA.
JD Chevalier, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do you find that's kind of weird? The fact that instead of by that I'm like, why didn't you just try to make a team where you're able to take your defense? Because you had it's only 10 guys. You had guys that are available. So you have AJ that was there. That's not going to be that. You had AJs that could play. You had Francis Cochelot that could play. The only thing you're missing is a quarterback because their Michael Connor guys are there. But why have Miles Gibbon on the roster if you're not going to try to make a team with him for national?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's reps for Gibbon, I guess. I don't know. It's a good question. You know what? Well, I'll reach out to Mike Brisset and ask him. I'll ask Joe Mahue as well. Actually, I'm going to try and get Joe to come on the podcast. He said he would, so trying to get him on. Yeah, it's a good question. We could ask him and find out what's up.
I find it weird.
Very good question.
It's like, it's cool that, because at first they weren't even going to make it. They weren't even going to register your team. But now it's kind of cool that you get to play versus Team Canada's defense, you know. So it is going to be kind of cool. But I figured they should have brought like their full, not our semi roster, and they should have just maybe added a couple guys that did the tryouts for Team Canada, and then just come play for us now, and maybe we'll get a better look at you, you know, instead of saying, okay, no, we're going to register a team with a different offense, and then kind of put our defense together.
Yeah, it's a weird decision, but I mean, listen, people want to come on and play ball. So I guess this way you can have more people come out and play, I guess. I'm not sure. We'll find out, though. We'll find out for you. All right. That'll do it for this week. So I want to give a quick shout out. This Saturday, July 5th. Yeah, 5th. It's Montreal Caramas 2025 edition. If you like dancing, you love great music, you like great food, party vibe, head up. It starts on René Levesque and Jean Moss, goes all the way to Parc Place de Canada. My other podcast, the 514 Show, we're actually sponsoring one of the sponsors from Montreal Caramas, so make sure to go out and check it out. Great vibes, great people, great music. There's going to be a lot of performing acts going on. Again, go check it out. It starts at René Levesque and Jean Moss. The parade starts at 12 and ends at 6. They have a little sizzle after party. Make sure to check it out.
You mean the jump up, right? That's what they call it?
The jump up, exactly. It's called Caramas now, but it's the jump up, Caravana, whatever you want to call it. Make sure to go out. A lot of dancing, a lot of good vibes, a lot of great music. My beautiful face will be there. Go check it out from noon to 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I used to go there when I was younger. Yeah. I used to be in a band too. I used to walk with the.
Hey, is this steel pan?
Yeah, exactly. I used to do steel pan too.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Go check it out. If you like dancing and having fun, go check it out.
No, it's a vibe.
Free. Check it out. Yeah, for sure.
And if you like that, you definitely have to go to the one in Toronto.
100%. Toronto's on point, but head to support the Montreal one. Support the Montreal people.
Yeah.
And it's a good time. If you have a chance, check out the 514 Show. I have a podcast with some of the event organizers. I had them on my show this week. The episode is out now. You can hit it up on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Make sure to check it out. 514 Show, one of the sponsors of FPF as well, so check it out. The Rio514show.com. You can check out the episodes there as well. I know Ali Reza has to bounce. He's probably mad at us right now because it's 8:03 and he has class, so let's get out of here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Brent. These Quaysie has been the latest episode of Flat Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. Pardon me. We will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we